So, hooray for technical difficulties. I got a lot further than where I was when I guess you last saw me. Not so much when I left off. So yeah, gotta keep a better eye on this stuff. Jeez. Oh man. Anyway, so to recap what I've been working on. Finished up the sky, played with these backgroundy rocks, which were a purplish color. Played around with their placement as well, erased part of the sketch where those rocks were because I changed the positioning, and then I threw a fog layer in, which was done with the soft round brush and just a little bit of a bluish white color from up in the sky. So yeah, so the rest of this piece I want to be a summer green, especially for I want to have some grass and things coming in here. So yeah, hopefully the stream won't die on me like that again. So I've got let me go to a different roundish brush. Actually, you know what? No, I've got a more textured one I'd like to use. That one's good. There we go. Yeah. All right, make my thing a little smaller. And I gotta make sure to check back on things periodically, because if I don't, something might die. So, come up here. Basically, I just want to start with a line from my baseland. Yeah, I was going to turn off my rocks, but actually I might not now. Don't really need anything there, but I'll stick it there as a holder, place filler, something. Very green. It's going to come up and around. Technically, this layer should in a lot of ways should have been. I just need a hard round now. Damn. Get that far away grass, so it has that cleaner line. Like that. There we go. Something a little lighter in there. Lighter and yellower. If you're adding light to foliage, it goes yellow. It doesn't go white. If we have white, then we have mint green, and that's just nasty. Okay, so we want to get these rocks. Go back to my custom set. So I think everything I talked about before about all the Chris Oatley podcast and everything, that's all still in there in the first stream. So I don't think I've lost any of that, which is good. So I need another layer for my rocks, which is actually going to go underneath the grass. And these two different rocks on either side, they're actually going to be two different shades of color, I think. I wanted the ones on the left to be more gray. If they're more gray, I want to make them more of I guess an aqua gray would be my ideal for this. Make it be smaller so I can get that build the line and the shape out there. All right, that looks good. So yeah, continuing to work on this. Hopefully it won't die on me again. So with the rocks in the background, I originally had sort of them all facing and staying the same direction sort of as the horizon and just pointing up to the left. I'm like, ooh, what if I make them and point them up towards where the light's coming from? But then I had to think for a second. I'm like, well, rocks don't actually grow. They're they're not like, oh, we have to have sunlight. So these are the background rocks anyway. Um, it's really, I was like, okay, actually it might be a little more interesting if I sort of stagger them, some this way, some that way. Made it, I think, a little bit more dynamic in terms of the composition. So, little fun thing that just, working on this stuff can kind of bring. Like, oh, I can see I'm doing this wrong. How lovely. I think I'll give these the same kind. I just started working on these. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make these 2 different colors, and now I'm not. I'll probably have some sort of an over color as my base, or this, rather, this is the base, and there'll be an over color. So yeah. Have some of that grass going over top of that I can erase out. At least for now, anyway. There we go. Probably get rid of the sketch layer. All right. Start playing around with where I want all these little rocks to be. A little too far there on that as well. Get my rocks back into place. A little less green. Stuff to get them. Stuff to get them in there. So at this point, I'm just blocking in color, which is a lot, I would say a lot like painting. But it's like between painting and drawing in Photoshop, it's sort of, they're a little bit seamless, which is really nice. It's like something you can make your brush smaller, go in for detail, treat it like drawing, or come in with a large brush, paint your details. All right, that looks pretty good. Let me check back, make sure I'm not gonna crash or anything. So yeah, checking back on things. All right, so I want to get something a little more textured again. Because we're just working on the rocks, I think I just want to select my rock area right here. That way I can isolate some details and things. I'm going to go a little darker and work with a larger textury brush. Just start throwing in some shadows. Yeah, it looks nice. All right. And then my highlight layer will probably be on an upper layer. Be sure I have everything right. This one's going to be a little different. I want it to be a redder rock. Redder. And dark. For this. And a lot of this we're not going to get highlighted. A lot of this light's coming from up here, so I got to play with that a little bit more in terms of where my shadows are going to be. Which are going to be more down on the right here. And again, these are all still my custom brushes, except when I was using the soft and hard rounds, which were just basic Photoshop stuffs. Ooh, I like this. Actually, I really like this brown. I might just use this on the other side too. just for some of it. Just that, get that patchiness. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. Okay, so we can probably zoom in a little and start detailing these rocks a little. Not zooming today. That's nice. Maybe I need my specific zoom tool to do it. Nope. Oh well, to do it the old-fashioned way. All right, so with these rocks, I'm going to get a smaller brush or something that at least I can make smaller. Still maintain some texture. So this was sort of my bluish, greenish, grayish color. So I want it to lean more gray. And we'll do a new layer over top of the grass. So I'm going to have to do sort of over and undering with the grass quite a bit. Actually, I'm going to merge the base grass and the base rocks. It'll just make it easier on me. So these aren't all the way in the foreground, so they don't need a ton of detail. They do need a little. I played around with this a lot in my my recent acrylic painting, which I didn't have a digital piece for, but it was a nice project. I focused a lot on foreground versus background detail. And a lot of texture too. So now this part's a lot more like drawing. So I'm basically just cross-hatching all this. Which, I mean, you can do with paint, but it's just not as easy. So essentially I'm treating this like a sketchbook page and just going to town on my hatching and cross-hatching. And with my hatching, I'm going to do this a little bit with my painting. I'll actually, whatever way I want the land to go, I'll do that with the brush or with the whatever. The brush or the whatever. You know, one of those things. Check on things over here. Yep, still doing all right. Quiet afternoon. Here, I don't know what working window I'm on. Nice quiet afternoon here in western Pennsylvania. It's cold out. Well, it's not super cold, but there's snow and it's like overcast and miserable. So, nice day to get stuff done. I'm still like 2 paintings behind. Though I'm also behind on, I need to go to the art store too, and I haven't done that yet. Which I'm gonna have to go to the art store now. Things have been coming up. I've been wanting to go on a Saturday. 2 weeks ago on Saturday, I got sick, and last week just things started coming up, and I'm like, oh, I've got to be kidding me. Life gets in the way. But now it's like, well, sketchbook 12 is almost full. Now I have to go to the art store at least to get a sketchbook. I want to get some acrylic glazing medium or something I want to try for my next project. Well, there's in short, there's always something I want to try for my next project. Every project is me trying something new, but all right, that looks okay. I'm not really thrilled with the lines up here, but just have to deal with it. I get a little more light in here. That looks pretty good. All right, zoom back out a little. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it looks all right. So my other rocks are definitely want to be a different color. I'll take my brush back up a little bit and get a nice red. So there was that brownish red color here. A little bit more of a grayish red for a preliminary preliminary highlight, I suppose. I was supposed to be doing all these highlights on a new layer, and I didn't. So yay, it's all on the same layer. More like a real painting now. Yeah, I'm not really specific to working in layers. It's basically, as long as my sky and my horizon mountainy thing is in the back or on a different layer, I'm usually okay. So it's gonna be more of a pinkish color, and we'll zoom in for that. All right. No. So this light is coming down almost on top of this stuff. So I have to play with that idea of the light kind of coming down on top and highlighting the tops of the rocks, but not so much the middle and the back. So have a little more on the right than anywhere else, but can do a little more here. Because this is my digital concept version, I'm, allowing myself to be messier. This is still, in a lot of ways, a lot like a sketch. It's just sort of a colored sketch. So I can allow myself to be a little more freedom to just screw up royally. Yeah, I'm sort of like just like hatching and cross hatching. It's just the thing that I do to really kind of build up my value in any given sketch type project. I could go into a lot more detail here, but I'm just not going to do it because I don't really need to. There we go. Sort of two different rock colory things. For some reason I'm just not happy with that. Have to make it bluer, I guess. Oh dear, that's going to change my whole grass and oh god damn it. Well, I'm stuck with it now because I merged the layers and I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter. It kind of does now. All right, so let's get my grass in here. We'll do this on the new layer though. And I want a grass brush, so I've got a few different ones I use for this. Most of them are my fan brushes. Figure it out. This is actually a filbert, but it'll work. So got that. We'll start with a darker grain. Something darker, actually a little bit more yellow darker. Grayer. There we go. I just want to get a little bit of underlying textural stuff. Get it up around the rocks a little more. I should probably make this smaller. Fill it in. Bring it up.